Yo, what's up, guys? Just want to make this video for you. Just want to share some thoughts. And it feels like these past few months, the world has gotten a lot darker. It feels like there's just this negativity in the air, this darkness. Ever since about September or so, it feels like there's fear going around. It feels like there's lethargy. It feels like there's hopelessness in the air. And I don't know if you guys feel it, but I've been feeling it pretty heavy. It's been really impacting my ability to want to stay focused on what I got going on. But we got to realize that every day, if you woke up today and you had life in you, you're still winning. You're winning. You're conquerors. You're more than conquerors. And it can feel like things are not going to get better. It can feel like, you're just going to die in the wilderness, but that's not going to happen. Sometimes we can feel alone, because if you're awake to these sort of things, the state of the world, narcissism, which is something that's going on at an all-time high. It seems like we're the only people in this world who are awake to this stuff. It's kind of like we're in a video game and we're just a video game character amid a crazy dark world, and everybody's just asleep. Everybody's asleep, and it's like the people that are awake, we're like scattered. We're like sprinkled salt on this earth. It's kind of like we're in a video game map and you've got a character, you've got an NPC here, another NPC over there. And it's like these people were the ones who actually, we're awake, but we're few and far between. And it's like the enemies are coming after us. And these are the narcissists and the dark spirits and sorts. And we're just fighting back, these things. And right now it's like we're walking through the kind of like the dark night of the soul. We're kind of in that situation where, we're being tempted by lethargy. We're being tempted by negativity, and the world's trying to get a foothold on us. You see all this stuff going on in the news, but we can't focus on that sort of stuff. We have to learn to realize that, if we start entertaining this world, it's gonna like hold us down. We have to focus on the things that we have been given and the things we can control, because when you start focusing on these external things like politics and celebrity drama and things like that, it's like that's so far beyond your control. What you should be focusing on is the things that are within your control, how you can make a difference. We all have talents, we all have gifts that we need to work on. We can work on our music, we can work on our books, and we could sort of build our own communities and get away from the madness. It can be difficult to really find community, to really find fellowship, because it's like we don't fit in with the church, but we also don't fit in with the world either. And it's like nobody understands us, and people are not supposed to understand us because we've been set apart. But it's like, although life feels like a curse, it's actually a blessing. Like this type of life, it's painful, but it's also very rewarding. If you stay consistent and you don't just give up, because if you just fall into that comfort state and you start just entertaining things, like video games, drama, and that's difficult because, I actually like playing video games. They're pretty fun. And, but you don't want to stay there. You don't want to fall into that comfort snare, because if you fall into that snare, you're not going to be able to accomplish your life mission. So just make that your number one priority. You got music, get on it. You got books, get on it. You want to get in shape, get on that, and just block out the noise. Keep pushing and you'll do fine. And in due season, you're going to reap the fruits of what you have done. And this is all going to be but a distant memory. Hope you guys like this video. I'm out.